Cody Rhodes has been at the top of WWE as one of its most beloved stars, but even he knows that fan support doesn't last forever. During a recent appearance at Fanatics Fest with Kay Adams, the American Nightmare got candid about his future as a babyface in WWE. While the role has brought him some of the most meaningful moments in his career, Rhodes admitted that the end of his fan-favorite run could be closer than many expect. The being a good guy aspect of it, I don't get tired of it because I get to have all of those moments. I do think we're probably at the tail end of it though, because there's only so much someone can like you. I'd like to do it until the end of my career, but at some point it's like, alright, all we do is cheer for him. Eventually fans want to see someone else. I get that, and that's when you have to change as a character. When asked how people would know when that switch is finally flipped, Cody had a lighthearted but honest response. "I think the internet will let me know right away," he joked. He went on to say that although there's still time left in this current phase of his career, the shift is inevitable, and it could come sooner than fans think. "I think you've got a good solid year, maybe even 3 years, because I'm not changing until I'm changed. My hair is naturally dark, I don't know if I can go back, but if The Rock had it his way, I would have been changed already, so I think he sees something I don't see, and that's a very smart individual, so maybe I follow his lead." Interestingly, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has reportedly been one of the key voices backstage pushing for Cody to turn heel, but for now, WWE leadership has opted to stay the course and keep Rhodes as the company's top babyface. Rhodes is fully aware that in WWE, crowd reactions evolve and no one stays universally loved forever. When the time comes, he's ready to reinvent himself, and if that means stepping into the role of a villain, he's prepared to make that move count. What's your take? Should WWE pull the trigger on a Cody Rhodes heel turn, or keep riding the wave while it lasts? Sound off in the comments below. Jey Uso's loss to Cody Rhodes in the King of the Ring semifinal was praised for its in-ring quality, but there was a deeper issue that went unnoticed until now. Both stars delivered in a match filled with emotion, athleticism, and dramatic near falls. Jey came incredibly close to pulling off the win, hitting Cody with not one but 2 super kicks, followed by a crossroads. But somehow, Cody kicked out. Moments later, Cody hit just 1 crossroads, and that was enough to put Jey down for the 3 count. That's where the problem lies. The booking made Jey look weak in comparison. After delivering such a heavy offensive sequence, he still couldn't get the job done. Meanwhile, Cody sealed the win with a single finisher. For many fans and even longtime analysts, this hurt Jey's credibility, especially considering his recent run as World Heavyweight Champion. After the match, Cody and Jey shared a respectful moment, with Jey raising Cody's hand before exiting the ring. Cody now advances to face Randy Orton in the finals, but the conversation around Jey Uso's booking might just be getting started. Do you think WWE did Jey Uso dirty with this finish, or was it simply the right call to elevate Cody? Share your thoughts in the comments. WWE is already making major adjustments following Liv Morgan's injury, and all signs now point to Roxanne Perez stepping into the spotlight. According to PW Insider Elite, Perez is expected to replace Morgan as Raquel Rodriguez's new tag team partner. WWE reportedly has no plans to vacate the women's tag team titles and has already mapped out a contingency plan. On Raw, Corey Graves confirmed that Morgan will be out for several months with a separated shoulder that requires surgery, but the fallout extends well beyond just the tag titles. Backstage, Morgan was at the center of several key storylines planned for the summer, including a feud with Nikki Bella, which would have eventually brought Brie Bella back into the mix. She was also involved in arcs featuring Roxanne Perez, Io Sky, and the Judgment Day, with every faction member tied to Morgan in some way, except JD McDonough. Things unraveled quickly. The June 16th episode of Raw was designed to push several of those angles forward, but after Morgan was injured during her match with Kairi Sane, WWE was forced to rewrite plans on the fly. Nikki Bella, who was supposed to interfere, was pulled from the show entirely. Rumored creative for an Evolution 2 event has also been delayed. One reason for the delay in confirming a replacement could be Roxanne Perez's participation in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Once she was eliminated by Jade Cargill on Raw, WWE quietly shifted gears. Later in the show, Adam Pearce was shown on a backstage call with SmackDown GM Nick Aldis, possibly discussing the tag title situation, though nothing was made official. With SummerSlam approaching, WWE is clearly looking to stabilize the women's division. Roxanne Perez stepping into the championship picture might be the first big move in that process. For Perez, it's a massive opportunity to shine, and sooner than expected. This wouldn't be the first time a tag team title holder has been swapped mid-reign. Trish Stratus once filled in for Lita. Morgan herself was sidelined with an injury in 2023, which forced the titles to be vacated. More recently, Naomi stepped in for Jade Cargill as Bianca Belair's partner, a move that later led to Naomi's heel turn after it was revealed that she had injured Cargill. Is Roxanne Perez the right pick to step in for Liv Morgan, or should WWE have gone in another direction? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know how you'd book the future of the women's tag team division. More from Raw, as it turns out there was more to Chad Gable's Raw segment than fans initially realized. According to a new report from Bodyslam.net's The Masked J, Cody Rhodes, and Corey Hayes, the altercation between Gable and Penta on Monday Night Raw was not just part of the storyline. It was WWE's way of writing Gable off TV due to a real-life injury. Gable is reportedly dealing with an undisclosed injury that's serious enough to force changes in creative direction. While the exact nature of the injury remains unknown, WWE opted to use the post-match attack by Penta as a storyline reason to remove or reduce Gable's on-screen presence during his recovery. At this point, it's unclear whether Gable will be completely off TV or simply working a lighter schedule behind the scenes. Either way, his temporary exit comes at a tricky time, as he's been heavily featured on Raw lately, feuding with top names like Sami Zayn and guiding the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile as part of his heel faction. His absence is expected to shift the dynamic on Raw in the coming weeks. With Gable gaining steam in his new role, fans will be watching closely to see how WWE handles the fallout. Are you surprised by Gable's sudden write-off? Does this hurt the momentum he's been building? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Becky Lynch has been a central figure on WWE television ever since her return at WrestleMania 41. Initially aligning with Lyra Valkyria to go after the women's tag team titles, things took a sharp turn when Becky turned on Lyra the very next night on Raw, kicking off a heated rivalry that's only grown more personal over time. The tension escalated further after Lynch defeated Lyra at Money in the Bank to become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion, ending Lyra's impressive 145-day reign. But another contender has since entered the mix, Bayley. The two have clashed repeatedly, and on a recent episode of Raw, Bayley challenged Becky for the title. Just as the match was heating up, Lyra returned to attack Lynch, leading to a disqualification and further igniting the animosity between all three women. Reports from WrestleVotes suggest that WWE is moving ahead with plans for a triple threat match at the upcoming Evolution Premium Live event. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and Bayley are now on a collision course, with the Intercontinental Championship hanging in the balance. While other matches for Evolution are still being finalized due to Liv Morgan's injury reshuffling creative plans, this three-way title bout appears to be locked in, and it's expected to be one of the marquee showdowns on the card. Shifting to NXT now, WWE's growing partnership with TNA remained in focus this week. Trick Williams put the TNA World title on the line against Josh Briggs, continuing the buzz around the interpromotional crossover. It was a rare example of Williams being the smaller man inside the ring, as Briggs had the edge in that department. It led to Williams telling a different type of story inside the ring, as he was overpowered at times, which helped to make the match feel unique. Briggs wasn't just boosted by his strength advantage, he also had Yoshiki Inamura at ringside to provide support and distractions throughout the match. It ended up being a hard-fought match with several memorable spots, although the outcome felt a little too predictable, which has become an issue for the TNA World title matches. Even though Trick retained the title, it was an impressive showing for Briggs as he continues his personal development, and it won't be the last time he's involved in a title match. However, just as Trick thought his night was done, Joe Hendry's music hit, and the NXT fans were treated to a surprise appearance from the TNA star, who attacked Trick as he pushed himself into the #1 contenders spot. Trick was initially slated to face former WWE superstar Elijah moving forward, but those plans had to be changed due to Elijah's injury. His loss has ended up being Hendry's gain, as he has been plugged in to fill that gap. Hendry's goal is to bring the TNA title back home to his company, and because of that storyline, he is being considered the favorite in that storyline. But here's the question, should he be? Do you think Joe Hendry is the right man to carry the title forward? Or should Trick Williams retain and continue his reign? Let us know who you're backing and why in the comments below. Hendry must have his head on a swivel though, as it was revealed that he will face Wes Lee next week. It'll be a big test before Slammiversary, and Trick will be counting on High Rise to soften him up before their inevitable title clash. A significant return took place this week on NXT as Ricky Saints was cleared for in-ring action following Ethan Page's violent chair shot to his throat, and the former AEW star stepped into the ring with Ashante the Adonis. It was a brief and simple match, with Saints picking up a quick, dominant win with his Rochambeau finisher to quickly remind fans what he's capable of. The real story came after the bell though, as a video played following Saints' win. That video glitched in what seemed to be a technical error, only for Ethan Page to appear and attack Saints from behind. Page made it clear that his issues with Saints weren't resolved via his chair attack. It was a clever way for Page to distract Saints and set this up, which fans appreciated. Key-eyed fans also noticed something peculiar during Saints' match, as Adonis had a QR code on his gear. Those who scanned it were taken to a page where they could send him money directly, which is a very random situation. It's unknown whether WWE approved that situation, as it's extremely unconventional. Given how strict WWE tends to be about people's presentations, it seems hard to believe this would be overlooked. However, it has got people talking about Adonis, which is a positive. What do you think of Ashante's QR stunt? Was it creative or completely out of place on a WWE broadcast? Let us know in the comments. Miles Bourne is continuing to try to prove himself in NXT and build up his career, yet he's not the only young star hoping for a big break. Lexis King is in the same boat and attempted to get involved in Bourne's conversation with some Florida Gators players this week. King's presence wasn't wanted though, and while things remained peaceful, there was clearly friction between them. NXT will likely explore that further, so fans should keep their eyes peeled for a future match. Elsewhere, Tavion Heights had a singles match against Javon Evans in a real clash of styles. It was power and mat-based wrestling against agility and speed, which led to a fun match. Heights dominated early on with various suplexes and takedowns, although Evans' speed allowed him to cause his own problems due to his unique counters and high-flying moves. This allowed both men to shine in the type of fast-paced match that has helped establish NXT over the years. Evans eventually got the edge and won, with Charlie Dempsey and Ren Sinclair watching silently from ringside. Evans' celebrations were short-lived though, as Jasper Troy hit the ring and destroyed him from behind. The fight carried on from last week's tense backstage confrontation, and Troy clearly did not forget about it. Heights' future remains rather confusing as he remains tied to the No Quarter Catch crew, which seems bizarre. He was seemingly wanting to leave the group lately, yet he's shown no actual fire in terms of making it happen. The situation continued backstage as Heights had a mask on due to a legitimate injury that Dempsey had caused him in training. Heights claimed Dempsey doesn't want him to leave, hinting that the injury was done on purpose. It adds a mysterious layer to this ongoing situation, proving that there will be more fallout between Heights and Dempsey moving forward. Between the cryptic booking and the surprise post-match ambush, NXT seems to be building multiple layered stories here. But is it working? Do you think this angle with Tavion Heights and the No Quarter Catch crew is making sense? And what should be next for Javon Evans after that blindside attack from Jasper Troy? Let us know in the comments below. Yoshiki Inamura is quickly establishing himself in WWE after his return at WWE Battleground 2025 after his brief return to Japan, with the Pro Wrestling Noah star building momentum again. Last week, he pinned Trick Williams in a tag team scenario, which shocked everyone. This week, he stepped up to challenge the NXT champion Oba Femi, who issued an open challenge. Inamura proved he has no problem stepping up against anyone as he wants to become a champion, and Femi welcomed that challenge. The two powerhouse stars made it clear that they want to face each other. Due to his contract with Noah, Inamura remains a part-time WWE superstar, although it is becoming clear that WWE is impressed by him. The Japanese star is building a big fan base for himself in NXT, and the fresh edge he brings to the show has been welcomed. Should WWE sign Inamura permanently if he's open to the move? And do you think he has what it takes to dethrone Oba Femi? Drop your predictions in the comments below. WWE's main aim at every show is to have fans leave happy, and unfortunately, despite a packed house, they failed at that during the June 23rd episode of WWE Raw in Columbus. That's because several attendees ended up complaining about the overly strict security on the night. Many fans stated they were threatened with being ejected for taking photos and videos. One fan claimed online that they'd never encountered something like this before, which made the experience draining. The situation was so bad that she admitted to now wanting to attend AEW events over WWE shows moving forward. The fan went on to say that the security at the Nationwide Arena was aggressively flashing lights at fans to stop them from filming as they threatened to confiscate people's phones. She ultimately felt the $350 seat wasn't worth her hassle. Fortunately, other fans revealed that they faced no issues at the recent SmackDown events or in other arenas. However, others stated specific venues, such as Miami's Kaseya Center, were also strict about signs and recordings. WWE used to have a no photo or video policy for the shows. However, as time has gone on, that rule has been harder to enforce due to phones being so prominent in today's world. Plus, fans sharing their experiences on social media is something WWE typically encourages and wants now in a bid to go viral. This situation is a negative one for the company though, even if it's the arena security enforcing this behavior. These complaints follow other issues such as a fan CM Punk sign that featured a Palestine flag being confiscated. Nevertheless, WWE continues selling out arenas worldwide as the company goes from strength to strength, although the more issues like this occur, the more negative word will spread, which is something WWE has to be aware of. While fans were being restricted by what they could do from their seats on WWE Raw this week, the talent themselves were also dealing with some strict rules regarding the ongoing Israel and Iran conflict or any potential travel issues ahead of their trip to Saudi Arabia. According to Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, talent were told they were strictly prohibited from mentioning the ongoing situation, even though WWE is heading to the region this weekend. Alvarez highlighted that it was bizarre that WWE was operating like such a major real-world situation doesn't exist, although the company was likely trying not to cause any panic for the fans. Do you think WWE was wise to avoid the topic, or should they have at least acknowledged the situation? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Back to NXT now, and the Heritage Cup had to be vacated this past week due to Noam Dar's injury, and that led to the trophy being put on the line during this week's episode of NXT as Tony D faced Stax, who had several henchmen with him. The Don immediately went after his former right-hand man, and the aggressive back and forth between them led to no single fall in the first round. However, the Don got the first decision as soon as the second round started, giving him an advantage. Stax failed to gain the fall in the third round, although he did tie it up at 1-1 by attacking Tony D's knee. The match was building with real tension until Luca Crucifino finally showed up in Tony D'Angelo's corner as the fifth round began. However, Luca accidentally hit Tony D with a bucket when brawling with Stax's men, ultimately allowing Stax to get another pinfall to win the Heritage Cup. It was a match that suffered from being seriously overbooked as a lot was happening outside of the ring. However, the Don then attacked Luca after the match, possibly ending their alliance. The tag champs Hank and Tank were found laid out backstage in a surprise attack. WWE didn't reveal who was behind it, but speculation is already swirling. Could it be the culling? After all, Shawn Spears did mention that he and Nico had gold on their minds, and the tag titles seemed like the obvious target. What do you think? Was this the work of the culling, or is someone else gunning for the champs? Drop your theories in the comments below. It looks like a match between Lainey Reed and Thea Hale is on the horizon. Tensions have been rising, and all signs are pointing toward an in-ring showdown between the two in the near future. Darkstate is back in the spotlight tonight as NXT's progressive faction teased something major brewing behind the scenes. They made it clear they've got something hot cooking and want fans to stay tuned. After a strong debut, the group's presence faded, leading many to believe WWE had quietly shelved the idea, but with this latest tease, it's clear this story isn't over. No details yet on what's coming, but judging by their warning, it's only a matter of time before they make noise in a big way. Are you ready to see what Darkstate is planning next? Share your theories in the comments below. We're ending today with NXT's women's division. Izzy Dame attempted to recruit Tatum Paxley by offering her a doll, which showcases the twisted nature of their potential friendship. Zeruka was on hand to warn Tatum against the idea, yet she ignored her. Tatum went to ringside for the main event to be in Izzy's corner for a fatal four-way match with a shot at the NXT women's title being on the line for WWE's Evolution. Dame faced Jordynne Grace, Lash Legend, and Jaida Parker in a match that featured tons of power. All of the strength, resilience, and agility was on display from the opening bell, and it was Legend who dominated in the early moments due to her power. However, all of that stopped when she charged into the corner and went shoulder first into the post. However, drama was growing outside the ring as Zarya and Sol Ruka attempted to intervene as they dragged Tatum Paxley away. That removed Dame's advantage, and she was visibly shaken by losing her backup. Grace ended up capitalizing on an in-ring opening as she pinned Parker to become the #1 contender, booking her place at the upcoming Evolution Premium Live event. She will head to that show with momentum, which will be a big moment for her career. However, the focus is also on Izzy, Tatum, and the dark path the culling might be leading toward. Do you think Tatum Paxley will end up joining the culling, or is there still time to save her? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.